morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening to Church Without Walls. Charles Stewart and the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams is your host. We come to you every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We come to you from the beautiful studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. This is your show. This is where we provide information that we think that would help you in your daily life. We are Church Without Walls. We come to you to give you information that you learn at your church house every Sunday, wherever you go. If you go on Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday, whatever day you go, we would like to provide a topic that you can share that information. We provide a topic, you provide the conversation. You can get in on it at area code 504-341-8255. We also on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So you not only could hear us, you could see us also. So we like for you to be a part of the show. Remember, this is your show. We come to you every Monday morning at this particular time. We like to do a shout out to all of our listening audience. Reverend Don, BJ, Warner Watson, to all our listening audience, who are Sheila, so many others that listen to us every Monday morning, and we want you to know we appreciate you. And Dr. William, anyone you would like to do a shout out to?
They know who they are.
They know who they are.
They know who they are.
Yeah, Rev William, Rev William, that's a unique the way to do that because old pastor once said when you start to call their name, you miss somebody, and that's the one that paying attention, the one who you missed. So Dr. William, he said they know who they are, so that means he's still done a shout out to everybody. So we appreciate you, and we want to say we thank God for another beautiful day, another beautiful Monday. And we always say in our church house on Sunday, this is the day that the Lord have made. And God knows I'm glad to be in it. I know you are too. So much done happened in 168 hours since we've been behind the microphone, Dr. Williams. It's been 168 hours since we talked to the listening audience. And I always say that in 168 hours, he'd have over 10,000 minutes in 168 hours and over 64,000 seconds. That's a lot of time that God been good to us. And we're so happy to come to you every Monday morning to hear to get your opinion, to see what we can do to help our community. God give us a duty to help our brothers and sisters. So this is how Dr. William and myself come to you every Monday morning to share our opinion, and most of all, we like to hear your opinion. Again, I said we provide a topic, you provide a conversation. 504-341-8255. Dr. William, our topic going to be today is pretty, to me, I find very unique. God proved himself. And, Dr. William, I done heard preach about that God's said when he come like a thief in the night. But to me, this weekend in the state of Louisiana, mainly in New Orleans, Jefferson Parish area, God proved that he is in control. Why do I say that? Because it was all kind of predictions. The mayor, Jefferson Parish president, they was encouraging everyone to take shelter. They need to prepare. They need to get out. And as I look at Facebook, on my Facebook page, I seen many of our congregation, our church houses. Pastor was canceling their services, saying that the weatherman says it got a terrible storm, number one, but it's gonna be a lot of water. It's gonna hit the state. You should evacuate. You should get out. And I was at a funeral Saturday, and my auntie, and at a funeral, as the funeral was going on, the rain come. It was rain. It was raining tremendous hard. And the pastor of the church, he told his members, according to the information that he had received and what he had heard, that he was going to cancel the service for tomorrow. He said, for those that are here, let your sisters and brothers know that it won't be church service, because he didn't want to be responsible for anyone that would be out in the bad weather. Something may happen. They were trying to get to the church, and he told them, don't worry about Sunday service. Matter of fact, they going to be their communion. And he said, we're going to do it on the full Sunday. But we don't know what God going to do. The weatherman make predictions, and they done spent all kind of millions of dollars predict what God going to do, Dr. William. But no man know that, and to me, God proved it this weekend. Like, he's saying, wait a minute, y'all don't know what I'm going to do. So he changes. God says, I'm going to move it over in Mississippi. Say, I'm not going to go to New Orleans, Jefferson Parish. And Dr. William, when I see those signs, I wonder if that's a sign of thing to come.
Well, Charles, one of the things that we need to look at is the fact that God, in his awesome power, is doing things to bring people together. And that, as you said, the mayor and the senators and Weather Bureau, everybody came together on one accord. And we've seen so much congestion in the parishes, in the cities, and in the town where people are becoming divided. God said, my people can't be separated like that. So all those signs that you're seeing are signs to bring us together as one body in Christ. And we're not at that right now. We're far from that. The storm coming, the Weather Bureau tried to tell us that how this storm was coming and what it was going to do, and half of what they said did not come to pass.
Right.
So they was prophesizing, but they were prophesying. I mean, they used the instrument, and the instrument give them accuracy on their knowledge of what they have, how things are going to turn out. But it does not have the ultimate last word. God has the last word. And he's working with us to try and get us to understand that we're so separated, we're so divided, that we need to come together as one body in Christ. Right now, you got a separation with everything. You got a separation in the White House. You got a separation in the schoolhouse. You got separation in the church house. Everywhere you look, you see a separation. You see a division. And the Bible tells you a house that's divided against itself cannot stand. So we need to be cognizant of some of these signs that God is showing us, and to get us to understand that we need to come together as a nation. Martin Luther King was a proponent of that. He said that we all need to be one. We all need to come together. He said he's looking forward to that day when his little children will be able to play with a little white girl, a little black boy, on one playground. That was an initiation of something coming together. And that was his dream. And it seemed like we've lost focus on that dream of becoming one. So we need to get back to the old landmark.
Right.
Coming together. Some of the things that we think is not good anymore, some of those old traditional things, we need to call those things back into play. But brothers and sisters, We sit here every Monday morning and try to get y'all to call in to discuss some of these topics. We need the people that are looking at us, the people who are visualizing us on New Orleans Talk Network, to call in and share your opinion, to tell us what you think about some of the stuff that we're talking about. How does it affect you in your neighborhood? What do you think can be done to bring things to a better situation than it is now? We need y'all to call in. Call in and talk to us. Call in and give us your opinion. The lines are open. Call in.
Area code 504-341-8255, as Dr. Williams said. We like to hear your opinion. I mean, I appreciated that people call me and they text me and they say that they enjoy the show. So if you enjoy it, I mean, I understand some of the our listening audience are at work and they can't make a call, and I know we understand that. But for those that can call in, give us a call and let us know, what do you think about the prediction that was made? I mean, everybody will take cover. There's going to be so many inches of rain. I think in New Orleans, I think they got a half inch of rain. They were worried about with all the pump working, and it dominated the news for hours. Some of the people got upset. I mean, they was interrupting the football game, and so some people got mad. I mean, somebody called me up. They ain't gonna show LSU. You know, they was afraid because they had all the news people on. They had the mayor of New Orleans on and the president of Jefferson Parish, Mr. Yenny. So they were talking to everybody, and I was looking at all the council people in New Orleans. And you can tell it's the election time because everybody in New Orleans was trying to get in the picture. They show their constituents that they was out there fighting for them, but I'm more than sure the people smart enough to know who was fighting for them when the sun shines. We don't need for you to fight when it's raining, but when the sun's shining, we need you to show us and help us how we can fight for ourselves. And if you do that when the sun's shining, all of us can work together. And Dr. William, when you see all these things happen, when man make predictions, and like if you start to backing up on many our election, you can go from the president all the way down to city council. People making predictions and they not coming to pass is something else. And I always said when something happens like that, it's a warning behind it. It's God giving us a warning saying that he not satisfied. And I would tell our listening audience, one thing we don't want to happen is God to get angry. Because when God get angry, devastation happens. You think you done seen it happen in Florida, Puerto Rico, and all them different it happened in Florida, Houston, Puerto Rico. You think those devastations bad. Let God get angry. The whole United States would be turned upside down. It's time for our first break. You are listening to Church Without Walls on the New Orleans Talk Network.
In the month of October, we honor those who we have loved and lost, and all of us who remain in the fight, the Warrior Angels. New Orleans Talk Network and Boomers Lifestyle Network present the 2017 Warriors Angels fundraiser for the Susan G. Komen For the Cure. Thursday, October 19th, 2017, 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. at the New Orleans Talk Network, 7601 West Bank Expressway, Marrero. There will be food, networking, and entertainment. All are invited. We will never stop fighting. we will never
I'm
forget.
living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden.
Join in on Mondays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry. There are no limitations or boundaries. We talk about life, and guess what? That includes you. So download the app today, New Orleans Talk Network, and subscribe on YouTube. That's every Monday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. New Orleans Talk Network, Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry.
Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com. Just tune into New Orleans Talk Network.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
We are back. You are listening to the New Orleans Talk Network, and we are Church Without Walls on the New Orleans Talk Network. This is your community station. I always say that we provide the topic, you provide the conversation. You can get in on it, 504-341-8255. Charles Stewart and Reverend Anthony Williams. We are your hosts every Monday morning, 11 to 12. And this morning we are discussing God proved that he is in control. He proved his power that when man think in one way, God think another way. And God say in his word that his way is not our way, his thought is not our thought. So the way we think and what we do is pretty much a lot of it is not God's way. Now, we do something that he approve of, but we do a lot that he disapprove. And every now and then when we think we know it all, and I know Reverend William, I know you back in the day and I was a little boy, they had this show come on. And they had this moose, they called him. He was so smart, they called him Mr. Know-It-All. And that old moose, he knew everything. And his imagination. So I think the people these days, we think we know we got all kind of sophisticated equipment these days. They spend millions of dollars to try to figure out what God's plan is and what God allowed to happen. I think I could be wrong. It might be in California, in one of those states right now. They having things that's happened that never happened before. They expecting bad. I think it's bad weather going on there, and that's rare. And y'all know a few years ago, you didn't see no hurricane and all that hit New York. It happened in New York. Not mainly, it used to be the South, but God letting us see is that he is in control and we can't figure it out. Like the Bible clearly tells us that God said gonna be a time that we not gonna understand the winter from the summer and the summer from the winter. So now we can hardly tell. Now, I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you, Dr. Williams. I don't know the last time I wore overcoat.
Well, we're in what, November right now,
You're right.
and not November, September. We're in September right now, and we haven't felt any cold yet.
October in October.
It's October.
September.
October, we're in October. You haven't felt any cold
Yeah.
weather yet. We're going to be almost, next month, we'll be in November. And there is no indication from the equipment that they have, the weather equipment that they have, that said that fall is actually upon us. And like you said, Charles, there will be a time, God said, you won't be able to tell one season from the other one. Let me just say that we try to figure God out, but there's no figuring God out as to what he's doing or why he's doing it. If we actually stop and think, God is always in control. A good picture would be his crucifixion. He's carrying a heavy cross through the city, down the Via Dolorosa, but he's still in control.
Right.
He laid on the altar of that cross and been nailed to the cross. His hands are nailed, his feet are nailed, but he's still in control. And why do I say that? Because anytime he could stop dying and give penitence to a thief on the cross, that tells me that he's still in control. Anytime he could stop dying and make preservation for his mother, he's still in control. He was still in control even after his death. He came back and spoke to the disciples and actually breathed on them to open their understanding. Peter could never have stood on the housetop and preached had he never had God in control of his life. He's still in control, regardless to what you look at, how you look at it. Even when he called Noah to go and preach to those who the earth had become so confused, so much sin, every imagination of their minds was just sinful. God said, it repented me that I made man. I will destroy him from off the face of the earth. But Noah was the one that found grace in the eyesight of God, and Noah decided, God decided that since Noah had that kind of faith, I'm not gonna destroy man. So he saved only 8 people out of millions of people that were up on the earth to start the world all over again. Every man makes bad decisions. No man makes totally pure to make a good decision. Jesus was the only man that walked upon the face of this earth because he was both God and man that was able to make righteous decisions. You take, the Bible talks about in the day that Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord. Isaiah said, I saw the Lord. But even Isaiah was not qualified to do what Jesus did. No man in the Bible is qualified to do what he did. And decisions keep coming up, whereas we're trying to figure God out. God says, there is no figuring me out. He said, my thoughts and your thoughts are as far from each other as heaven is from the earth. So you can't even come close to thinking what he's thinking about. He knows what he's going to do. He has a day planner. And I believe that on his day planner, he knows what's going to happen before it happens. He knows every question we're going to ask before we ask it. And, some of us think that we are righteous, more righteous than anybody else. When you go in the Bible and start looking at the gifts that were given, the gift of speaking in tongues, the gift of healing, none of those gifts, one gift was no better than the other one. And what he's trying to tell us is that no man is greater than the other. The president holds the highest office in the land, but he is not above nobody else. He's just have a title now that he have to respect as being the one that's holding the highest office in the land. And God is looking at him, and trust me, he continued doing some of the things that he's doing, saying some of the things that he's saying. We do things like God don't have no eyes. We do things like God don't have no ears. But one day, he's going to stop, just like he did with Isaiah, and told Isaiah decided that he wanted to go into the temple and burn incense like the priest. That was an office ordained for the priest, not for a king. So God says, since you don't want to listen to me, he struck him with leprosy. And Isaiah could not function in that office like he was supposed to. So the same thing goes for the president. God get tired of him, something will happen to him. He's supposed to be there for the people, not for himself. And so we're looking at all of these things that are happening. They're just signs that says that we need to come together as one. Whether you're black, white, brown, or yellow, we need to come together as one. If we study in the Bible, and the Bible said that there was only two that God created and fashioned them from the dust of the ground, then if there was only two, where you get this prejudice from? To have prejudice one against another. And prejudice is not something that just happened. Prejudice have been there. You had the Pharisees, the scribes, the elders, that was prejudice existing with them. There were different religion existing with them. Religion is only a belief that you set aside a set of doctrine to follow. So, brothers and sisters, I want to tell you all you better start paying attention to some of the stuff that's happening right now, because it's going to come upon you and you're not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, well, Dr. William, certainly, if for those who listen and believe in God, and anybody that believes in God at all, certain things should get your attention. I mean, that it's never before in that I would dream in my lifetime some of the things that I see that is happening, and it seems like to me, people not paying attention to it. It's like they don't care, and like it seemed to me that people honor false anything, whether it's a flag, it's a statue, or what have you. Dr. Williams. People seem to me is that's all they care about. When you see the situation where in the United States, and I know many people that have paid any attention at all to the news, they know some of the things that is happening now is not normal. It's not normal for the leader of the free world can use certain language, can brag about what he do to women, and listen to all this, like I done said this, y'all probably done hear me say it many times before that you as a young man coming up, you talk to different people. You talk to Caucasian, you talk to Afro-American, you talk to everybody. And, you talk about certain things that normally, unless you know the person real well, you don't have those type conversations. And we're going to share with you, Dr. William, myself, we're going to share with you some personal conversation that you may not hear on the radio or Facebook or Instagram or anything. We're going to share some of those things with you when we come back from the break. So it's time for another break. And you get in on this conversation, 504-341-8255. You are listening to Church Without Walls.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
In the month of October, we honor those who we have loved and lost, and all of us who remain in the fight, the warrior angels. New Orleans Talk Network and Boomers Lifestyle Network present the 2017 Warriors Angels fundraiser for the Susan G. Komen For the Cure. Thursday, October 19th, 2017, 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. at the New Orleans Talk Network, 7601 West Bank Expressway, Marrero. There will be food, networking, and entertainment. All are invited. We will never stop fighting. We will never forget.
I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls. Charles Stewart and Dr. Anthony Williams. We are your hosts every Monday morning, 11 to 12. You can also get in on the conversation, 504-341-8255. We're also on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So certainly we want to hear from you. And again, I remind you, we provide a topic, you provide a conversation. This is your radio station. You can pretty much talk about we talk about anything you want to talk about. You want to talk about the community, the church, what have you. As long as it's decent conversation, you have a voice. You can voice your opinion and how you feel about your parish and your state. Hello? So if you'd like to get in again, I'll repeat it again, 504-341-8255. Let your voice be here. As I was, before we went to a break, I was telling Dr. Williams, like something, like you see certain things happen, you have to keep on talking about it, because some of the things I see happen, in my mind, this is not supposed to be happening in the United States. It's not supposed to happen not only, it shouldn't happen nowhere, and everything seemed to be getting out of hand. I mean, y'all have heard me say before that, certain conversation that you have with some people, it be private with your Caucasian friend or whoever, Spanish friend. And it used to be conversation is why they would have a black man in the White House. And the conversation would be, oh no, they couldn't have a black man in the White House because he gonna bring all his family in the White House. Mm-hmm. He gonna have 2 or 3 wives. Mm-hmm. And he gonna be a liar. I mean, they a bunch of reasons why they say that a black man shouldn't be able to be in the White House. But our current president right now, he white. And he done had 2 or 3 wives, got his family people in the White House, and he is a great liar. I mean, the people that support him agree that they know he's a liar, but they still believe in him. So, Dr. Williams, so it appeared to me that the country now, they like people done lost. They don't have value anymore. I mean, who believe a president would brag about what he do to women and how he do it? Say when you're powerful and famous, you can do these things. You can use the SOB word. You can use any kind of language you want to use, and it's okay. And they justify. They say, "Oh, he ain't been in office for about 6 months." I mean, it's an excuse for everything. But when it come down to real values that, Reverend William, you got grandkids, I have grandkids. How it does it feel to everybody, not just, Dr. Williams, to all of us to have a grandkid and the president of the United States use the language saying, SOB. Your grandkids certainly going to ask you how he able to use that. I mean, that's strange.
Well, if you go back all the way to Genesis, Charles, what you find out is that when the book of Genesis started to be compose itself, in other words, everything that started to be began. It didn't begin in Genesis, but it began to come together. The first thing that God saw was that the world was in a chaotic condition. That word chaotic means confused. That means that there was no order to things. So God started putting things in order. He created the firmaments and, the birds and the bees and everything. He put everything in an order. After he got through putting everything of the world in order, he put man over it and said that, man would have dominion over everything that creep and crawl up on the earth. So he put things in order. Then the woman was put there. Okay? Now, what you're going to find in creation, in the creation of things, you have the creation of all things, and then you have the formation of things. Man was formed from the dust of the ground, but he was created by the divine Savior. The fact that he was created, he had a glorified body. When he was formed, he was given an earthly or a fleshly body. And then things were put in order, how things were supposed to be, what was going to be over and what was going to be under. Now, we have the president who served as the head ex officio of all of the office. That means that he is in power. But he doesn't have an awesome power. He has a limited power, a temporary power, which is only given to him for a few years. And then he have to exit that authority that he have, one way or the other, either by impeachment or by death. But one way he's going to exit that office. He's going to exit that authority that he has. So nobody have permanent authority. God is the only one that have permanent authority. We've got so many things that are happening in society today. You can take it all the way down to the churches. You got ministers on the pulpit that shouldn't be on the pulpit. And I say that expeditiously like this. He has, you got ministers who are not qualified to be on the pulpit. You've got homosexuals, you've got lesbians who claiming themselves to be ministers, and they're having the people to believe that they are prophetess and prophets of God, but they're not. Satan has some temporary power, and he can use that power to persuade people to do things that he wants them to do. And at one time, the only thing that we had going for us as religious people was the pastors. And the pastors were held with high regards because they were one that would cater to the need of the people. And I say need of the people, but that's not happening today. Some of your pastors worrying about driving a Mercedes or BMW or whatever kind of car they want. It's expensive, living in the biggest and the best house. But they don't do anything for the people. And the Bible tells you that if you fleece the sheep and don't feed the sheep, then the sheep will go astray. Because you take an old dog. As long as you feed that dog, he gonna stay there and he gonna be obedient to you. You stop feeding him and start kicking him. Sooner or later, he gonna bite you and he gonna run away. And that's what's happening to a lot of Christians in the churches. They are going to the churches and they're finding out things that exist that shouldn't exist in the church. They're bringing the world into the church. And when they bring the world into the church, they want the people to conform to that way of living. So that's, in a sense, that's dividing the church and that's separating the church. And until we as individuals who are claiming to be followers of God have no fear of what God's wrath can do to us, we're going to find ourselves in a hellified condition, if I could say it that way. But we need to start looking at what's happening and what we are doing. Parishioners are not conforming to what they should conform to. I mean, if you're going to preach it, live it. If you can't live it, don't preach it.
Right.
And what you got today is that you've got people preaching things that people want to hear, but not preaching things that will save the individual. When I say save, I'm not talking about save the flesh. I'm talking about save the spirit, save the soul. So if you need to be preaching a word that'll cut to the marrow of the bone to make that person, when they come into church, leave out different than the way they came in. Everybody that met Jesus didn't go back the same way that they came. When they met Jesus, they went back a different way. You could look at the lady's son from Nam. He met Jesus on his way to the graveyard. But after he met Jesus, he went back home alive. We've got to look at some of these things. Tabitha was on her deathbed. When Jesus came to her, she got up and walked around. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. When Jesus called him, he got up and came out to Jesus. The preachers have to start calling people to see Jesus. And that's all we can do as ministers. We can call them to let them see Christ. We can preach the word that they can hear what Christ has done for others and what he's doing for us today. We got to stop looking at yesterday and look at today.
Right.
Stop looking to tomorrow. Look for today. What is Christ doing for you today? How has he helped you today? It's all right to look back at the past. It's all right to have dreams of the future. But you need to live for today. Look at what's happening in your life today and try to do something to help somebody, to save somebody, to steer somebody in the right direction. The song say, if I can help somebody as I pass along the way, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, then my living, listen to what it said, my living will not be in vain. And if you live all your life trying to get all you can and knock people out the way trying to get where you're trying to get, your living will be in vain.
Dr. William, it's time for us to go to another break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about, and y'all notice I didn't interrupt Dr. William. He was getting y'all a sermon there. Sometimes you might need that. Somebody may not have got that word yesterday. Somebody might be in the hospital or maybe at home unable to attend. So sometimes it's good to get that word the way Dr. William gives it today. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about the false god that people have in their life today, and how well do people believe that. So when we come back, that's going to take us out our last 15 minutes. So you are listening to Church Without Walls.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 70072. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hi, I'm Linda Lewis with Lewis Armstrong Family Services here live at New Orleans Talk Network. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Come join us. Thank you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls. Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. We come to you every Monday morning from the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We always invite you to get in on the conversation. Today we have been talking about God showed up and he showed his awesome power that man really don't know what God's going to do. We can guess what he's going to do, but and actually, if we pay attention to his word, we would understand that no man know what God's going to do, Dr. Williams. No man knows that, and we seem to think that we can. And Dr. Williams, in our final segment today, this kind of disturbed me a lot when I see people, they seem to serve, they seem to me they have more faith in our God, a false God, than they do God. And why would I say that, Dr. Williams? Because I noticed that the thing that, you got all kind of argument going on, a young man that took the knee, Cabernet, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he took a knee and he was protesting because he fears unfair justice, and he decided to take a knee. Now, since he took that knee, some people, to me, it's amazing to me, the whole country, all the news, they got so many news outlets, it ain't funny. And to me, nobody getting it right. I mean, he didn't take a knee for no flag. He took a knee for unfair justice, but they not dealing with that. I mean, the president of the United States, he done made an issue out of it that they not honoring the flag. I mean, the flag, what is the flag? The flag is a piece of cloth that they painted red, white, and blue that they want people to honor and serve. Don't see nothing wrong in that. I mean, everybody will agree we should honor that. And they made a song, the national anthem. I mean, nothing wrong with standing for that. Dr. Williams, and they started to ask the football player to honor the national anthem, I think, in 2009. Before that, Nobody never even paid no attention to that. But all it took was for the president of the United States and the news minister said that's disrespecting. I mean, you can't have it both ways. That's disrespecting our country. You're not disrespecting our country. I mean, they got people wear the flag on top of their head. They got people. They got people that make shirts out of it. I mean, got people burnt the flag. I mean, but the point that I'm saying is, out of God, people believe in what they want to believe in, real, because that boy took a stand for people getting killed, like Trayvon Martin and the other one that got killed. He's saying that was unfair. I mean, why the outrage is not about that? They worried, but a human soul. I mean, a living soul body don't mean nothing to them. I seen a young man got killed. I think might have been in Baltimore. Could be wrong. He was sitting in his car. He told his officer, "I got a gun in the glove compartment." They killed him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that is mind-boggling me. Why not the outrage on that? This young white lady got killed. I think that was in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
They killed her. And they wrote, I mean, why? That's not outrageous for that. And they outrageous over somebody standing for the national anthem.
When you stop and think about it, in the Bible it tells you stand to give reverence to someone. It's like people stand for the queen, they stand for the president when the president come in, and stand for when the judge come in, and you're just showing them reverence. You sit, when they tell you to sit, you sit so that you can have a teaching. And the same thing goes in the churches. You ask them to stand to give reverence to God's word. And after you get through reading the word to them, you ask them to sit. A sitting position is a teaching position. When Jesus fed 5,000 with 5 barley loaves and and 2 little fishes, he said, make the men stand up. And after the men stood up, then he said, make the men sit down. And the reason he said that in that particular scripture is giving reverence to the fact that if the men sit down, then the women will sit down. If the women sit down, then the children will sit down. And then he would have order, and then he could do whatever he needed to do at that point. But we give reverence to, some of us got a chain around our neck, and we worship that chain. You pick up a little child, and the child break the chain that's on your neck, the gold chain that's on your neck. You ready to throw him back to his mom or whatever. You know, you worshiping that chain. That becomes a god to you. That becomes a symbol to you. So that's traditionally you saying he broke my chain. Well, he didn't break your covenant with God. You know, people are worshiping things that become their God. A person who has money is so concerned about that money that he's not concerned. He don't have that much concern about God. Yeah. He's worried about who's going to steal that money, who's going to take that money from him, or who's working for him, who's stealing from him. We make things God. You know, I mean, some of us worship my church. My church. You know, you are the church.
Yeah.
Don't put nothing before God. He says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else shall be added. Well, then, if you seek God first and put all the rest of that behind you, you won't have no idol God. Right. All of those gods that were in Egypt were what? Destroyed?
Yeah. They
were destroyed. Why did he destroy them? Because the people need to get that out of their mind and out of their heart.
Right.
So don't, you know, when you start talking about giving reverence to something, we give reverence to the flag. Nothing wrong with it. The flag stands for justice. That's what it's supposed to stand for.
Right.
Okay. The national anthem is something that we can sing traditionally, which reference the flag.
Right.
But when you're talking about a person kneeling down, they knelt down to do what? They knelt down so that they could actually make themselves committed to God. That's where I look at him.
Okay. Okay, listen, audience. Been another Monday. This is the fastest hour in show business. It seemed to me like time went by so fast today. And we hope that something was said that would help you in your life. As always, we appreciate you and we appreciate God giving us an opportunity to talk to you. So until next Monday, we want everybody to know that we love you, we love you, we love you, and we're not going to do way the vice brothers that did show up at a game and leave because they needed attention. We come to you because we want attention to try to let you know that God love you. And don't forget that, we always end the show by saying, there's no such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you're dead. Love you. On behalf of Dr. William and Charles Stewart, we love you. Have a great week. See you next Monday.